What's going on, everybody? King Majin here, bringing you what will probably be the last Xenoverse 1 video. I thought I'd show you today some great moves and some great equipment to bring over to Xenoverse 2. I tried bringing a whole bunch of outfits, a whole bunch of different moves, and these are the best ones I found so far. I started out by trying to bring strike moves, but the strike moves in Xenoverse 2 are way better, and they're just not as good as they are in Xenoverse 1. In other words, key moves are superior in Xenoverse 2, and strike moves are superior in Xenoverse 1, so you don't really need to bring over strike moves, it would just be a waste. Bring over key moves. So, the first attack I would say to bring would be Spirit Bomb. And for those of you who have played as Goku GT in Xenoverse 2 already know how effective this is. It does a ton of damage, it's easy to hit the opponent with it. The problem is this takes too long and all your opponent has to do is hit you one time to get out of it. So it's a good move, but it's very slow. I know a lot of people like to use Tyrant Lancer in Xenoverse 1, but it's just not as good as it is in Xenoverse 1. So the first move I would recommend you bring is Evil Explosion, just because you can charge it, so you can choose when to use it, and it does a ton of damage. A ton of damage in Xenoverse 2. This is a great move to have. But what I like using is Light Grenade. And yes, these are both Piccolo's moves, and they are extremely effective. Piccolo's moves are just superior in Xenoverse 2. What I like about Light Grenade is you can choose when to release it. If your opponent gets too close, you can just shoot it, and it'll back your opponent off, and it'll do a ton of damage. Seriously, that is a great move to have. The next one I would recommend you bring is Split Finger Shot. This is really good because it does a lot of damage if all 5 of like the shots hit your opponent. And I like using it whenever I hit my opponent to the ground. As soon as he's on the ground laying there, I'll throw a Split Finger Shot and do a ton of damage. There are some other good moves here. Flash Bomber, I haven't really tried. Tried a couple of these, but homing moves, if you have any homing attacks, I would strongly recommend using those. Big Bang Attack is also a really good move to use at the end of your basic combos, just to get that extra blast and get some extra damage. And the second best Key Blast move I brought so far is Blaster Shell, just because they follow your opponent pretty well. And if your opponent is flying around you in circles, all you need to do is use Blaster Shell. It will hit your opponent, and it'll kind of keep him away from hitting you from behind, and it'll get your opponent to stop running. So Blaster Shell and Piccolo's Light Grenade are the best moves to bring to Xenoverse 2. Great attacks to have. And the other move I would recommend you bring is Maximum Charge, just for all the story events and the parallel quests. This is just a great thing to have to get you ahead faster, and it's pretty effective too. I mean, you'll charge up a lot faster, and it's just great to be able to do ultimates against Great Apes when you fight them later. As far as the ultimates go, I tried bringing Big Bang Kamehameha times 100, thinking, bringing the biggest move from Xenoverse 1 would be good in Xenoverse 2. I was wrong. It's a waste. So I brought Emperor's Death Beam, and what's great about this is it's faster in Xenoverse 2, and it's just easier to get your opponents in Emperor's Death Beam. So it's actually more effective in Xenoverse 2 than Xenoverse 1. Again, don't bring the strike moves because Key Blasts are superior. I haven't tried a lot of these yet. I tried bringing Spirit Ball. It's kind of harder to hit your opponents with. It's harder to control, but people can hit you out of it easily, so I'm not really going to bring Spirit Ball. And Giant Storm is actually a good one to bring if you're fighting multiple opponents. Supernova. Actually, Kaioken Kamehameha worked even better than Supernova. You get Supernova towards the beginning, so I'm not really going to bring that, despite how much damage it does, and because it takes a long time to use. What I am going to bring, however, is Assault Rain. You may think this move sucks heavily in Xenoverse 1, but in Xenoverse 2, this move is unstoppable. It's probably one of the best ultimates I've seen anyone use so far. Just because your opponents, they can try to hit you out of it, but the shots that they shoot up in the air will still hit your opponent. It does pretty good damage, it has really good tracking, and your opponents can't really hit you out of it because the bullets you shoot up in the air will still hit them, and nobody's fast enough to stop you before you shoot the first bullet, so it'll be easier to get people in combos this way. And for my evasive move, I'm just going to bring Absolute Zero because opponents like to do infinite combos, and this will kind of stop them in their tracks, quite literally. So that's what I'm bringing there. And these, ladies and gentlemen, are the super attacks, ultimates, and evasive I'm going to bring to Xenoverse 2. Take a good look at this. You can also bring Evil Explosion if you don't have Light Grenade yet. It's a really good move too. So moving on to the clothing, I'm going to bring Time Patroller Suit. I tried a whole bunch of clothes. I tried Lord Slug's, I've tried Turles's clothes, I tried all the pieces of Frieza's suit, and I think I even tried Gogeta's clothes. Time Patroller gives you +5 health, it gives you +5 ki, and +5 Ki Blast supers in Xenoverse 2, so if you're going to be a Ki Blaster, make sure to bring the Time Patroller suit. I'm also going to bring Cosmic Suit, just so I have some extra stamina. It gives you stamina, ki, and health. And with these items, you'll have 5 bars of ki in no time for different attacks. And if you're going to be a Saiyan or a human, I'd recommend you bring the Super Saiyan Blue Goku wig, just because who knows how long it's going to be before you get that. I mean, you're not going to get that until like way at the end of the game. As far as Z-Souls go, I have not been able to transfer any over in the beta, but perhaps now, since the game is finally out, I can bring the Z-Souls I've wanted. So I'm going to bring this one. As you know, this is my favorite Z-Soul. A lot of people don't even know what it is. It's my trump card, and it's the reason I keep getting, 35 to 48 winning streaks in Xenoverse 1. So, that's the Z-Soul I'm going to bring. So, this is it. This is the clothing I'm going to wear. You already seen the skills that I'm going to bring. You can take a picture of this if you need to. Take a screenshot. Again, it's also up to you what you want to bring, but for me, these skills have worked flawlessly in Xenoverse 2. It can be hard to hit people with split finger shot, but just make sure you use it when your opponent is beneath you on the ground or whenever he's charging. It'll do really good damage if you know how to use it, but Light Grenade is a must. Light Grenade is a great move to have in Xenoverse 2. So that's going to be my video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see all of you in Xenoverse 2. Peace.